Yeah.
Teach them, help them develop self-confidence, and then show them how to navigate difficult situations, and then find them a counselor. That is something that our culture don't discuss. Therapy. So that is something that we are always open to that idea. If you feel like you need to talk to a therapist, by all means, speak to a therapist. We would rather pay for a therapist to speak to our children than have them go through life with these crises that happened 10 years ago that they never addressed.
He didn't see it like a big deal because when he went to high school, everybody was being bullied. And they seem okay.
Wow, it's been normalized.
Like, it's normalized.
Yeah.
Now, how do we make our children feel like this is not okay? That's a big challenge. Because
that's a challenge.
They will even argue with you. No, I can't come and talk to you about bullying because what if you go there and say something? Then I meet the boy in the mall and he jumped me.
Thing.
But now, how do we communicate this to Kenyan? Because there's our understanding of bullying, and most Kenyan parents, the understanding of bullying is the high school bullying, monolisation in boarding schools, which was something that was socially accepted. Even your parents expected that you're going to be bullied.
Yeah.
This was not something that even you could come back home and discuss.
Yes.
It was, we nenda huko jipange shauri yako. But how do we explain? Because it seems this bullying in American schools has a very different dynamic.
Yes.
And now that I think back in the day without social media, it stayed during school hours. But now with social media,
It's
this
going
bullying continues 24 hours. It goes online.
Yes.
So how would this be explained to African parents to understand and to get to protect their children? Because most just don't get
Don't
it.
acknowledge it.
They don't know what they don't know.
I would say, if I may answer, I would say we African parents, we have to understand and we have to acknowledge that bullying is real. It's out there. Our children are targeted, and unfortunately, and sometimes they will tell us. So we need to have some education on bullying. You can even put some videos on YouTube. What is bullying? How do I know if my child is being bullied? How do I speak to my child about bullying? And then you teach your own children how to identify when they're being bullied. And then you also teach them to, develop some self-confidence and then the ability to navigate these difficult situations. So for Rehema, eventually when she came to us, we had to have a one-on-one talk with her. First of all, you need to reinforce to your children that they're everything you think they are in this world. They're the best. They have the best grades. If they do, that if they don't, then you might want to address it. Like Ngobu does. And that they don't deserve to be bullied.
Yeah.
Teach them, help them develop self-confidence, and then show them how to navigate difficult situations, and then find them a counselor. That is something that our culture don't discuss. Therapy. So that is something that we are always open to that idea. If you feel like you need to talk to a therapist, by all means, speak to a therapist. We would rather pay for a therapist to speak to our children than have them go through life with these crises that happened 10 years ago that they never addressed.
Okay, all right. So that's quite an interesting take, because I think that's one very misunderstood concept by a lot of African parents because of what we understand by bullying. And then when someone, for example, like going back to primary school, I can imagine if I go home and tell my parents that someone told me my nose looks like this or my ears looks like this, they'll be like, okay. So why are you telling this to us?
I wanted to add on this. So one thing I've learned, I've been meeting with a lot of young men, and there's a common theme. A lot of our kids, especially boys,
boy child.
The boy child,
Yeah.
is
Under siege.
is First of all,
Siege,
bullying in
bro.
America is normalized.
Yeah.
It's like a culture. You know, like when,
hazing, like when you go to
hazing,
college,
yeah.
hazing.
Yeah.
So when these kids go to like middle school, then high school, they get bullied, right? But they feel like this is what's supposed to happen.
This is
to
what
me.
I'm supposed to
Mhm.
experience.
This is supposed to happen to me because
Monolisation.
when they go to the older brother, I was bullied. What are you talking about, right? So one thing we as parents need to understand is your child have already accepted that bullying is okay for me because I'm African and is normalized by the system, and that's why they don't even talk about it. Because there's a boy who told me he's being bullied right now. He told me that he didn't see it like a big deal because when he went to high school, everybody was being bullied, and they seemed okay.
Wow, it's been normalized.
Right? It's normalized.
Yeah.
Now, how do we make our children feel like this is not okay? That's a big challenge because
That's a challenge.
they will
yeah.
even argue with you. No, I can't come and talk to you about bullying because what if you go there and say something? Then I meet the boy in the mall and he jumped me. Assume the kid gets suspended. Then, because remember, bullying is not in high school or middle school. It's, as you said, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Online, social media, malls. They go to movies,
Snapchat,
whatever.
TikTok.
So if these kids meet physically
Snapchat.
and the kid has been suspended, what can happen?
Yeah,
So
and these are kids who live close to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So they internalize it
Yeah.
and they just deal with it. It's very tricky. So sometimes it's not the parent not doing their job. Sometimes it's the child not saying anything because they feel like if I say something, the repercussions are big, more than
So
the help.
So let me ask a question, and I'm asking this ignorantly. Could this also have to do? Could it have to do also with school districts? There's certain school districts that have it more
No.
than others, or is
No,
this
bullying-
just something
no.
that's just
No.
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 Bullying,
Bullying is
if,
in
if
America
you do
is-
some research, bullying is across the
It's
board.
everywhere.
So
From
it's
the prestigious private schools
It's
to
across the
the
board.
to the poor schools, if you want to
Priscilla.
say poor
so
schools.
it's a cultural thing.
It's a
and to
cultural
top it
thing.
up, let me do something else. It's not about African. You can be bullied because you're big. You
Yeah,
can be bullied because you are Latino. You
yeah.
can be bullied because you are
It could be
skinny.
anything.
You
yeah.
can be bullied because you are sexual orientation. So bullying is like a cultural normalized.
And
Negative
negative
traits,
trait.
negative
Yeah.
fights.
Right.
That's America. It's
is
here.
that- yes.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say this, like, if you recall, and I think when Rehema and Jide were here, and sometimes our kids need an avenue,
Right.
and the parents, most likely, we might not be the avenue. So an uncle, a confidant, an auntie, somebody is going to be the avenue.
A pastor.
A pastor.
I don't know about it. Wait, probably.
I'm just saying.
Or
I'm just
an
saying.
imam.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like,
Or the school counselor.
Or the school-
You know,
but
there,
you see-
there are those resources there. There's the school counselor, and actually nowadays the school counselors will talk to you. If you say, I want to share this, they'll help you find ways to process the bullying. And if you say to them, I don't want so and so highlighted that he's the bully because I don't want to get in trouble by him and whatever is happening, the counselor will respect that.
but you see, here's the issue with that, because unless you empower your child,
Yes,
they will
you
yes.
come
have to
They
empower
will not
your
come
child,
forward. Yeah, they will
Yeah.
not.
even if they're not comfortable talking to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You tell them it's okay.
Find somebody that you believe you can confide in. Or
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
talk to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether we like it or not, that is where we are right now.
And
I have,
actually, like Emma just said, Joseph, even at work, bullying is there.
Yes.
You know, all of us here, we have jobs. There are people that will outright just say to you that I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's bullying.
Yeah.
Very
Because
subtle
they
bullying.
really,
Yeah.
if you say there's fire, they're gonna run.
Yeah.
If you say there's food, they're gonna come to you and say,
Yeah.
where's the food? But when you are telling them something serious, I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's bullying.
Yeah. So these are things that, if you recall, when Rema was here, we said your kids may not just accept the fact that your child or your children will not be comfortable confiding in you.
Right.
Just know that.
I have another-
Just
I have
know
another-
that.
I have another point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me
Go
finish.
ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
just be comfortable with that.
Mhm.
However, tell them, listen. If not, you can talk to Ali or Romosh. Talk to somebody. Find somebody that you can confide with. I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
But please, talk to somebody. If it's the counselor, go talk. But you have to embed that not when they are 16 or 17.
It has to be when they're
It has to be
young.
like an 8 or
Yeah.
9.
Yeah, that
Don't-
and that
don't-
goes back to creating your
Yes.
little village.
Yeah, you have to
having
do that.
that
Right, I was
village.
about to say this. For parents, we have come to find out our kids based on talking to them. Extracurricular activities help them a lot.
Yes,
Playing
yes.
Whether it's soccer, whether it's dance. When your child excels in something and the people are like clapping for her or him,
Yeah. It gives them
it
confidence.
gives them confidence.
But bro,
So-
double, man. I have
I
a
know.
double. I have
So-
a triple.
Right, I know. So
Yeah.
they have a way to feel better about themselves, and with the time they get confidence.
Yeah.
And if your child scores a goal, and yesterday he was bullied, it balances, and eventually
They actually forget the
they forget the
bullying.
bullying. They're
Yeah.
so happy with
Yeah.
their teammates.
Yeah.
Excuse
So
me.
let's
I have to do a double, bro.
as parents. That's where I'm coming in. As parents, I know it's difficult, and I know we have a lot of struggles here, trying to make money, pay bills.
Yeah.
But please, we have to find a balance. Time for your child.
Yes.
That money
Yes.
you are making is so good, but your child also counts.
Yeah,
Matters.
because the money you're making, there will still be opportunities to make money
Right,
even
right.
after your child.
Right.
But that time that you have with your child growing up, it's a
It's
finite
gone.
time, and if it's gone, it's
It's
gone.
very
Never
short.
recovered.
It's,
Yeah.
it's a very
So
short time.
We are
yeah.
very strong advocates of extracurricular activities.
Another phenomenon I've seen, like, and I don't know how common it is, like with sometimes with families that are struggling, there's pressure that starts being built up on maybe kids who are in high school, like you have to work and also contribute to the household. And I think, it happens. It happens, and that's right there can also become very detrimental
It can. It can.
to a child, especially when you start putting that pressure on them at a very early age. And I know people are in different people in different brackets, like income wise,
Right.
but it's something that I think also parents need to understand, that this can change even the dynamic of your relationship, the way a child sees you, like moving forward, even after they become an adult. So I think that's something also to be quite careful about. Another thing that I've also seen that is sometimes not discussed well with children who are growing up is your makaratasi, your paperwork.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like what will happen, because there's some kids who actually are not aware that they will not be able to go and just apply for a job like the way their classmates can do it.
Right.
Yeah, so I think this is another very sensitive area.
That's a very important.
2025.
Yeah.
Yes, and
But
Project
then-
2025 is coming.
Exactly. So
enough,
Ali,
yeah.
that goes back to what we mentioned. Discuss your financials. Whether we were talking about when kids are choosing to go to colleges, they want Rehema. Shout out to you. Rehema wanted to go to NYU, New York University. You all know how much that school is.
Out of state fees.
Yes. So that's almost
And
100K
she was
a year.
and she was
It was her
presented
number
at
one
Apple.
choice.
Yeah.
But then here she is at UMD, which is great, at par with New York University, NYU, UMD, they're at par.
Yeah.
Great education, both colleges. But you have to set realistic goals.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to go to NYU, I don't know who's going to pay for you.
Sometimes
Yeah.
kids go there, they come back.
Same thing with the papers. You have to be open with your children to say, don't even tell them when they're 17. I would be really upset if I'm 17 and my mom says, oh, you don't have.
The papers to us.
So when is the
That-
ideal age?
The ideal age is when they go to high school. That's when you need to let them know there's a problem here. This is how I came to US. These are the challenges we're going to have as you get older. These kids are not babies.
Remember the social internet.
They understand.
They can search things, right?
somebody who's
So that's
a
why
freshman,
I'm asking because maybe what 8, 9.
freshman in high school, they are probably.
I think you may want to start before that.
No, don't start too early because they will not understand it. But the
Maybe 10, 11,
freshmen in
because
high
remember,
school,
they
they
search
will
stuff.
process a lot of the information that you're giving.
And
them.
they
already
talk to
by
other kids.
but you
And
see,
yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing, like Lawrence was saying, when somebody is already 8, 9, 10. I know Zoe right now sometimes.
She's on right.
No,
Zoe-
these
no-
are two issues. Ali is talking about makaratasi. I don't.
But that's what I'm talking about.
A 9-year-old will not understand.
A
what that
9-year-old
No, no, but-
Yeah.
is too young.
But
young.
it's too young. But it is important to preempt. It may be too young, but like certain things that will like a kid will be like, can we go to Mexico for a trip? Can we go to Jamaica for a trip?
Right.
No, again.
My friend was there. I
My
laughed
friends
at
were
it.
there. They loved it. So can we
tukitoka
go?
hatuwezi rudi.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
At
But
9,
that's-
10.
So I think in
those
such
are
a
the
situation you have to
carded-
deal with it.
Yeah, and those are the carded conversations that
Yes.
we as parents must have with our kids. They're not comfortable. We're not gonna lie and say that all the conversations we've had with our children were the most comfortable. Some of them are really uncomfortable. They're things you don't want to discuss, but you have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And you have to be honest with them. This whole thing with they turn 16, they want to buy cars because guess what? Their friend have a new car.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you say, oh, your friend has a new car. What do they have? Oh, their mother got them. I think I'm giving a real example. Their parents got this girl like a 2021 Honda Accord,
right?
which is how much?
Where?
Yes.
You're talking about
Super.
20-something or 30K.
Totally.
But
new.
it's a thing
And-
they do. By the way,
yeah.
you guys know that's a thing in high school they do.
That's
Once
a
you
Yeah,
graduate-
thing in
you
high
guys know
school.
that, right?
So you
Yes,
have
it's
to
a rite
have-
of passage, actually.
Once you
Yes.
graduate high
Yes.
school, you get
It's
a
a
new
rite
car.
of passage,
Yes.
but
But
you
you
have
don't
to
know-
have those
Yes.
conversations
But that's
with your
with Kina
looking at how
Amber
much
and
you
all
must
of
have made
those.
that-
Not
By
That's
the way,
Kina Amber and
Yes.
Heather.
Yeah.
At that point,
Not
I'm
you
looking
guys.
at my
Yeah.
my universal made that bill. I'm
It's
thinking,
gonna
wait a
be-
minute, 25,000, 26,000 a car, and here is courage.
Yeah,
I
Chagua
can
ni
do-
lako.
yeah.
Choose one.
Now,
Oh,
Car
no, you
or
don't even
college?
give them a choice. You just tell them
No.
realistically, we can afford that car. Whenever you ride with her, enjoy the ride.
yeah.
Wow.
This is
That-
what we can
wow.
afford.
But
Yeah.
as she get older,
Enjoy the ride.
Yes.
Almost. And she get older, then she start appreciating it.
As they get older, they appreciate it.
Now, I think
I get that. That part I
Nakangumu
get,
watajua
yes.
wajui.
Right.
And I think goes back to what I think Ali was saying. I'm not sure if it was Ali, but maybe it was Lawrence, where you just say yes, but the first time you say no,
yeah.
a child is like,
whoa.
you
Yeah.
can tell me no.
Yeah.
I've never been told
yeah,
no.
I deserve this car.
No, wait a minute.
I deserve this car.
Acha nikwambie.
Yeah.
Mimi.
I want
Nitakuwa,
2 dishes.
no.
But you know
Nah.
what parents will do?
Yeah.
They'll go get that order, accord, and then work doubles. And then let's say this child is 16.
No chance.
So you give them that order accord that has $500 payment because you have to work doubles. Then they become the parent at home. So now the younger children are being watched by this high school student. Not that she has to be a parent, but because you have to work doubles. That is a challenge I have for my fellow
Planning. Once
And
again.
actually,
fellow
that's
Kenyan
what
parents. That's
Planning,
not okay.
planning.
That's
That
what
is not
Tabitha.
okay.
That's what Tabitha is saying here, because she says to add to your point, Ali, parenticizing kids, especially the first child, asking them to step into the role of an adult
Right.
when, say, the parents are working doubles.
Yeah.
Kenyan families do this a lot, and it can have a major psychological impact.
Thank you,
Shout out
Tabitha.
to Tabitha.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, that is so
It happens.
true.
Yeah.
And
All the
that's
time.
my biggest pet peeve. I am a firm believer that you have kids because you want to be a parent, you should take care of them.
But now,
I would rather have my own sister, well, boy, I love you, watch Zoe, than tell Kihanya that he can't go somewhere because Zoe is home.
But where do we balance also, of course, you don't want to parenticize these kids who are in high school at a very young age. It's not a good thing. But where do we balance now, like teaching them? Teaching them, because at some point, they're going to leave the home and they're going to either go live by themselves or they're
Yeah.
going to go to college. How do we balance that where we are giving them chores to teach them how to adult, but at the same time not making them step into your shoes as the parent in the household. How do we balance those two? Because the other problem that's also there is kids who've grown up wanafanywa kila kitu. When you're out there by yourself, you don't even know how to you don't even know how to clean your own clothes.
Yeah.
You don't even know how to use the laundry machine.
Yeah.
You know,
And we have you don't know how to cook for yourself.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
You wanna go you wanna go and eat out all the time.
Well,
you know,
give them chores.
my take is this: parenticizing at that age. This is my take.
At what age? Be specific.
Whatever age, even if it's 16 or 14 or 12 or no, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, parenticizing. It is, for me, I'm looking at it from at this perspective, at the responsibilities that are there to take care of a child. Let that simmer in, let that sink in. Because in this day and age, in our current social media standings or whatever, drink water. What happens is, I think there's so much information, like Lawrence was saying, that there's so much information, there's so much stuff out there to where we don't know where boundaries are, and we are seeing, and I could be wrong by the way, maybe somebody can patch out the numbers. You know, like there are a lot of young people becoming parents in our communities.
Yes. You know, like
Which means
young people,
means that there's a way that this parenticizing at some point is teaching you, like, this is what you're going to expect. This is what happens. Like now, if mommy has to go to work, these are the struggles that have to happen.
So you're teaching them a lesson.
Me, I'm seeing you're teaching them a lesson.
So in other words, you
Yeah.
think it's a good thing to have the 16-year-old watch 5 kids at home and take care of them.
In other words,
5 kids.
Well,
that is
4,
fine.
2, 1.
Because you know what?
Yeah.
You watch these kids. Ndio ukifanya madhogodhanio and you're not ready, if you're not ready, this is what you're gonna have, whatever.
I totally disagree with you.
Hey, I'm playing
Yeah.
devil's
Yeah.
advocate.
No.
Mosh.
No.
I think
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For, for me, this is how we do it.
No.
I know, right? We assign our kids responsibilities.
Yeah.
In fact, I think what you're saying is being done out of situations. Parents have to go to work.
Yeah.
There's a 16-year-old in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I think as my wife was saying, I think the best thing to do. You are the
Excuse me,
parents.
your bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
From come out.
You are
Yeah.
what
Come
my
out.
bae was saying.
Yeah, thank you. Come out.
You are the parent. I don't think it's fair unless I know sometimes we do leave our kids without.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens. Like now we are here, but it should not be like a pattern. It should not make you a child.
It should not be the norm.
Should be the
Right.
expectation.
Yeah, it should,
Yeah.
it should
It should
be,
not be the
it should be
expectation.
random, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you should make your child the parent.
nanny.
The maid, the
so,
nanny.
so they end up not having their life.
yeah.
You know, these kids are teenagers. They want to hang out with their friends. They want to experience life. You did experience your thing,
Yeah.
right? Why not also give them a chance? You are the parent.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I also think that the idea is back to planning. Planning. You're babysitting, finances. Talk to your kids about their responsibilities. I'm not gonna do laundry for my children. Even the 9-year-old, she does her own laundry.
Eh?
So yes, she does.
Are you?
Zoe will put her she will go put her laundry and learn it. She know how to do it because that's how. In fact, she gets so mad if somebody tell them somebody touched her laundry because she have learned I'm responsible. If you start these small chores, early enough, it becomes
It becomes part of the norm.
Mapema your best.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But I don't think a child should be responsible
For their siblings.
when the parents are there.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, it should be like it shouldn't be the norm. It should be random. Like
It should be helping.
we are stepping
Like
out.
now, today we're
Right.
here.
Yes.
Our 23-year-old son could have
Is-
gone
right.
anywhere. He has
Yeah.
a
We
car.
asked
He
him.
could have gone somewhere.
Yeah.
And we asked him. We said, "Are you gonna be home with your sister or should we
The other thing is to take
make plans?
him out of their
And
house.
he's
And
like,
that-
no, I
yeah.
got this, I got this.
And
So
that-
when it's their choice at that age, it's okay.
But then also,
And by the way, that 23-year-old son,
yeah.
that 23-year-old son, Isaac, should have been here already for an interview. You were
but then also, I'm looking also at this from another angle. You know, like I have seen, you know, like low income families, and sometimes I don't think it's something that they want to do. Like I don't think they want their 16-year-old to be sitting there
It's
looking after the
circumstances.
7-year-old.
circumstances.
Sometimes it's just circumstances, because I'll tell you, you know, like especially the way this economy is set up right now, there are people out there who are really, really struggling.
Yeah.
Right.
There are people out there who are really, really struggling. So I think sometimes, you know, looking at it from another angle, it's easy sometimes to look at it from a perspective of privilege, where I have a choice, you know, like I can afford a babysitter, or like I can afford to take my child to daycare. Let's also understand within our Kenyan community, let's not even go far. There are people who are struggling.
And that's why I said there's always exemption.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There are people who are struggling, and I think it's important to be careful, and also think about the people who are doing it, not because they want to put their children in that situation.
No, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So Ali, there's
Yeah.
like Gofu said, there's always exception to the norm. So our point is not towards those people who are truly struggling and they
Yeah.
have to have their 16-year-old watch the 5-year-old because they have to go to work. But then there's also a choice, because if me as Genda, I am going to work doubles, 16 hours,
Yeah.
not because I need that money to contribute to the family fund, but because I need that money so I can support another whole family of my sister in Kenya,
Oh.
so they can live like
Like,
like-
black tax. How?
like, yeah, that
How
that
did
is
she
wrong.
pull this one
That is
in?
wrong.
Yeah.
This one
Because-
is just causing trouble.
No, but
But you're right.
we
No, you're
see
very
it all
right.
the
I think it's
time.
very true. It's very
about,
We
true.
see
we're
it.
talking
Yeah.
about when circumstances
Yeah.
doesn't, when you're doing it, but you don't have to, because you want
Yeah.
to make money. And
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
That's what we are calling
yes,
again.
yes, absolutely.
It's not-
I know
Yes.
the time that you spend, you know, like I'm very thankful to the way I was brought up, because time is something that I got, and that's
Yeah.
something that now I appreciate so much
Yes.
as a grown up,
Yes.
which is something that is sometimes taken for granted, whereby you're like, I'm doing these double shifts to give them a better life, but what you're taking away from them right now is much more than whatever you'll
Yeah.
be able to give them without
But
those
are you
extra
even
dollars.
doing the double shifts to give your children a better life? Or are you doing double shifts because you feel guilty that you left your 5 sisters in Kenya and you're trying to have them live like the Jones? No.
Now that's
That is a
whole
that,
topic.
no, that is wrong.
that's a complicated dynamic that especially African immigrants who have that guilt of paying a black tax, especially people who came from situations where walichangiwa kuja hapa, they are always guilt tripped. Wewe unakumbuka tulikuchangia? Yeah.
Ali.
They're always guilt tripped.
Yani you went that
No,
deep.
no, no.
Yeah,
because
you
that's
going
what
there.
happened.
Yeah, you going
yes,
there.
I'll go there.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll go there because that's
He's
what
going
happened.
there.
But unajua Demu Muranga, that's what happened. I don't
Excuse
understand why
me,
you're
I
doing
am
that.
from Muranga.
That's
Not
what
all of
happened.
us
To
were.
back you
No.
Yeah.
We
Omosh, I'm
diasporans,
from Muranga.
Yeah,
We-
I
we
didn't
are
say
against
anything
some
about
kind.
you and
Our
Muranga. I
legs.
just said that
One
that's
at a
what
time.
happened. Watu wa Muranga
Okay,
walichanga.
one at a time. One at a time.
Now he wants to talk.
Yeah.
No, I was
Yeah.
just saying
About
that
Muranga.
just to back you up a little bit. I've seen as diasporans sometimes we struggle with what do we want when we come here. Are we
Okay.
Americans? Are we Kenyans? Are we both? And by the time you navigate all these, you are 50,
No, that's true.
and it's too late.
Mhm.
So one thing that I've been telling them, I've been talking to our groups, whatever. You have to make a decision when you come here. Are you here to stay as an American? Are you here to go back when you do your thing? Are you gonna do like a percentage here and a percentage in Kenya or Nigeria or whichever country? What are you doing? Because the moment you keep saying I'm going back or I'm here, but you don't have a conclusive decision, you just gonna be doing things.
You're gonna be helping
And
your
then,
your
so
families
you know
everywhere.
that hyena, that the proverbial hyena that is
Yeah.
spread.
Yeah, one leg in
Yeah.
one party,
Right.
the other leg in the other party.
And
yes.
that-
But you see,
Huku wa huko na huku
Right,
wa
but,
huko.
and, that,
Yeah.
and that, hold on, Humphrey, and that affects kids. I'm going back to the children now.
Yeah.
When you come here and you have a family, those kids are American, right? They are going through the American experience.
they are American.
They have the school system, everything. When you say that you are going back, for example, are you really going back when your kids have an American experience? Are you gonna yank them from it when they are older? So those are the things as diaspora parents we really have to discuss.
And to
And
add on
decide,
and to what
and
you're
decide.
saying, and to add on what you're saying, and the Mafroti team is not gonna like me for saying this.
Oh no.
Whenever you're making financial decisions, you
Yes.
know, like even if it's even if you're in a very good financial place, you can afford to invest here and there. But whenever you're making financial decisions, you don't have a contract with God. You could die anytime. So whenever you're making big financial decisions, you have to think, okay, this farm that I have back home, or whatever, this land that I have back home, how easy will it be for my son or my daughter who's lived in America to go and get it, or to go and use it? That's one thing that people don't. There's a lady who contacted me from North Carolina, born in the U.S. Dad passed away, and he had quite a bit of properties back in their village. She has gone there multiple times. You know, it is complicated for us who've been to the country, know the country. So now just imagine your
Somebody has
American
never been
child
there.
Right.
now going back home trying to claim the inheritance.
Right.
People have to think very critically. You
Right.
have to think
That's-
beyond yourself.
And that's exactly why I said planning
Yes.
and deciding.
Yes.
For somebody who decides, okay, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna go to a nursing home. My kids will be here. Plan ahead. Buy a long-term care insurance or whatever that can help you and your children. For somebody who is deciding, my thing is
Kenya.
home, but I have a family here. What percentage of me, out of 100% of my investments or whatever I'm doing work, what percentage is good enough for me there? What percentage is good enough for them here, right? So if you plan ahead, most people don't plan ahead. That's my point. Because if you plan ahead well, you can be able to do things where you came from and do things where you are
But
balance.
But Lawrence,
But-
remember,
Mhm.
your children are entitled to your wealth.
Actually,
Upon
they're
death.
not.
No,
They're
wait.
not.
No, wait.
No, that is you.
Wait,
That
wait,
is
wait.
you mentality.
Hiya,
No,
hiya.
no.
Hiya.
No, that's not true. That's
now
not
you need
true.
to listen to
we have a
Ginda.
caller 0073.
Ginda,
Hold on.
Yeah,
Ginda,
hold on,
you need
hold
to
on.
listen.
Hiya,
You need, okay,
yeah.
before
No,
we go to the caller.
no. Before you go to the caller, I
Before
just
you go
want
to
to
the
say we have a
caller.
caller. Yes.
What I was saying, you didn't wait for me to finish my statement. I'm saying they're entitled to your wealth upon your death.
They're not though.
Upon your death.
They're
so,
not.
So who's entitled? So when you
I
die,
could decide that whatever I own, whether it's this little fancy jacket, goes to
Pet store.
donate it to a pet store.
So
Omondi
here's
is
what
That
I'm
is
here.
my
telling you.
Sijui kwa nini
calling. That is
Omondi
my
is here.
prerogative.
I know
That's my
somebody.
decision.
Okay, so here's what I'll tell you. The state of Maryland does not agree with you. But let's pick up the caller.
No, before-
the state of Maryland does not agree with
Well,
before-
the state
before-
of Maryland is not going to be the judge of what I do.
you. They will when you die.
Not necessarily.
When-
Am I
when you
going to
die-
die here in Maryland?
You don't know.
And you don't know either.
Yes, I don't know either.
And
So
I'm
that's-
not
that's
saying
what
I'm
saying.
not saying
And
that
that's what I'm saying.
And I'm not saying that per
Yeah.
se I, Genda and Gofu, that our whatever we have is not entitled to our kids. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying don't perpetuate that to be the norm, because we have these grown 50-year-old men that are still waiting for their father to drop dead in Kenya so they can inherit. When are you gonna inherit? When you're 60?
There's no entitlement when someone is alive. When someone is alive, there's no entitlement.
But
The
you
thi-
know
the thing
that's
about
happening
death-
in our culture.
So
That is happening a
It is,
lot
it is.
in our culture.
But again, I think it goes back, and I think we talked
Well,
about
what's
this.
your caller?
No,
Yeah.
no.
The
caller. No,
bottom line for me is you balance. If
Yeah.
you want to be here 100%, do your thing here. If you wanna be,
And you know,
your place where you came from,
and you see, and you see, Rehema brought that up
Mhm.
because she came out and said, "Oh, there's this land, there's this," and then Rehema is like, "But you never talked to me about it." She was here on the show when she
Yeah.
said that,
Higher.
Yeah.
and that is a conversation again that needs to happen.
Mhm.
And Lawrence is very, very, very particular. Like, you know what, you discuss between you and your wife, because remember, as Babakaro says, watoto ni wapita njia.
right? It's
Yeah.
true.
Kids are sojourners.
Right
Now, Rehema
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
not at Crescent Ridge.
No.
Kihanya is not at
And if we
Crescent
don't have
Ridge.
Zoe,
If
we'll
Zoe-
be, imagine now.
Zoe
Right.
in a few years
Right.
will be gone.
Right.
It's just gonna be these two and these two.
Right.
Caro and Bosch. Whatever. So again,
Yeah.
watoto ni wapita njia.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever needs to happen, whatever conversation needs to happen, needs to be happen. And by the way, hii mambo ya wazazi to look at the watoi and focus on the kids.
No.
You're focusing on the wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Focus on your partner.
Focus on the future.
Focus on, and the
Yeah.
future is your
Empower-
partner.
Empower
And-
them.
and
Empower
I
them to
could
do
have
their
money
thing.
in an account, offshore account. If they can figure out how to get that money from the offshore
So-
account to US,
so I
they
think-
can figure out how to sell the plots in Kenya and bring the money here. It's possible.
So I think, you know, like this may be a difference in culture, because we come from different cultures, and I
Right.
think sometimes when I'm speaking within our culture, your children, and even within Maryland laws,
Yeah.
Maryland laws in most states, you know, like if you go and give your inheritance to a puppy or something, your children can come and challenge
And
you,
contest
Robert
it.
Yeah.
Court.
Yeah.
Yeah. So within our culture, I'll say, upon death you can write a will, but upon your death you can only will, if you want to will people who are outside that line of inheritance, you can only do a third of your wealth. So I think this is a thing of a difference in culture, whereby there's actually an entitlement when a parent dies. to
That's
the
your
children.
that's your culture.
So we have a
And it's
caller.
not only my culture; it's a lot of different. It's
Yeah.
American law.
Yeah.
It's American law.
Yeah, it's
and
American
I tell
law, by the
people,
way.
to go look at these laws before they make decisions, and then they have other random people enjoying their
I mean,
wealth.
Ali, I will tell you that our Kikuyu culture is the same as yours.
No, it's not.
It is.
No,
Our
I'm
children
telling you, it's not.
inherit.
Yeah.
So, like, we have a land that we have inherited from my in-laws.
Yeah.
And so the land that we have, when we go, it will go to our son, Kihanya. So
Yeah.
he may not even know what to do with it, but that's our culture.
So you see, within our culture, we have very specific. There's specifics on who gets what. Especially, we get knocked for the fact that a boy will get twice what a girl will. I know. I can see even the look on your face.
Excuse me?
Yes, exactly. And that's what I'm telling you. And that's why I'm telling you they're not the same.
I am so happy I'm not a Muslim, huh?
That's what I'm telling you.
That's messed up.
Wow.
The-
That's messed up. So if I was your sister, I get half, you get two.
Actually,
so can I
Sisi
tell
Kwetu, you
you-
wouldn't get anything.
I wouldn't get
so
anything.
there
Zero.
you go.
In fact,
There
you'll even
you
be.
go.
And if you're
So
not,
can I tell you something interesting? In America, as recently as 100 years ago, guess what a woman was getting in inheritance?
0.0%.
Yeah.
Let's pick
yeah.
up the call.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for calling the One Mic Show. 0073. Let us know where your name and where you're calling from. Hello, are you there? 0073.
Hi, One Mic.
I'm glad you hanged on. Thank you for calling.
All right, tell us your name
One
and where
mic,
you're
stop
calling
being
from,
shy.
please.
Digivyo now, eh?
Same to you.
Focus, Omosha.
Oh.
This is
Sorry.
Okay, caller, go
this is
ahead.
Washeke.
Hi, Washeke. Welcome to the One Mic Show.
No, so first I want to thank. Can you hear the echo? Inanisumbua.
No, turn off something on your side.
Turn off if you
If
have
you
any
have
gadget
anything
open.
that
That's
you're-
what might be causing the
Yeah.
echo.
Like volume on your side.
If you have volume on your side, turn it off.
And
Okay.
leave it at that.
Okay, can you
Oh,
hear?
okay. It was No, now it's better. It's because I was on the phone and I'm watching
Yes.
the show.
Oh,
Yes,
then you
yes,
come out
yes.
over here and you start saying
Yeah.
Madhogo than you, but carry on.
It's all right.
Yeah. So first, I want to thank the guests for sharing so many nuggets. We appreciate for being vulnerable with us. So before, I have two questions, but before I ask my questions, me and my parents, I have a 10-year-old, and so many of the things that you have said, what you have done as parents, is what I'm doing. So I thank you. I feel like I'm on the right track. Like they say, parenting doesn't come with a manual.
Correct.
So one of the questions I have is, I had you mention about, Rehema or your kids. Sometimes you feel like they are talking back to you, but they're just being inquisitive. So how do you process that? How do you deal with that without getting frustrated? Because for me, my daughter has a very strong personality, and she's very vocal. Even the school principal and vice principal, they know me by name. They have known me from the time she joined kindergarten because she's that vocal. She will advocate for herself, and she also advocates for other kids who don't have a voice. Like if she feels someone is being unfair, it's a fair situation, and a fellow student doesn't have a voice, she will go and advocate for them. So sometimes it's challenging when I'm telling them, I'm telling her something, and sometimes I just want her to listen and not ask me 1,000 questions. So she'll ask me 1,000 questions, and sometimes I just want her to do something. So how do you deal with that without killing that personality, because it's like the balance, that is such a delicate balance. So that's my first question.
Gideon, take that. Oh, sorry.
Second question. Maybe I'll pause there and hear what you say and then ask my second question.
Okay.
Okay, Gida.
Hey Washeke. I want to say you have a very bright, brilliant child. Do not kill her spirit. Empower her, listen to her, answer the many questions that she has, because funny enough, that's the same way our Zoe is. Those strong personalities are needed in this society. So just if she's asking questions in the sense of, but mom, why are you telling me to do this? Explain to her what I do or what we do. We have really, I always make fun of this statement. We have really become Americans. If you know what I mean, they listen and they respond and they explain to even a 1-year-old. So explain to the child exactly why you're telling them to wash those dishes, for example, if that's the issue. If they're asking you questions that you feel might not be appropriate for their age, come up with a guide that says, at this age, we can discuss ABCD. Before you get there, we can discuss the other things that do not involve, that are okay for your age. But the most important thing, let her be a fighter. What she has is actually brilliancy. Isn't that what we were told? Those kids that ask a lot of questions, that fight for others, they are empathetic, they feel the pain of other children, they are very, very bright. So let her be. That's my advice to you.
All right, Washeke.
Thank you. So